Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the series Work and Be Happy, where us as a product team and a group of people under crazymonkeys.io and getwelder.com discuss everything about like building a sustainable way of living by doing things we love, which is building products, working with others, and all this kind of stuff. And we mostly share what's on our minds, what's our experience with others, so they can be inspired. Because we have many great discussion between us, between Marek and Predrag. Marek is a senior backend developer, and Predrag is a senior full stack developer. Um, yeah, we are working together for 7 years. And today's topic, I found an inspiration on Reddit, and now I will share my screen. All right. So I found this topic on Reddit. How do I deal with pessimism and fear of failure? It's stopping me from progress. Um, and he shares that he has a pretty bad thoughts, or she, I'm not sure actually. Um, and it's stopping them from progressing forward. And there are many reasons for that. He's thinking this requires too much time. There are too many competitors in this space. I don't really know who will buy this. I don't really like the people in this market, and many more. There's no guarantee this will take off, and I know all these points that I like went through them many times when building the business, um, and they are challenging. Like there's no answer for that, and that's why doing business it's so scary. But how do we deal with this, guys, or how do you deal with this? Do you like? Do you ever do you have these thoughts?
Some of them, for sure. No, I don't think we ever had like all of these thoughts at the same time about the project because I think we would quit very quickly, and we have actually quit a lot of projects for just having two or three of these points.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think
So I think
honestly, if you have like so many points, I think it's time to stop.
Really?
Like,
I
yeah.
don't think so. Really, I don't think so because I
I mean,
believe
if you
it's.
have like a lot of these points at the same time,
if you have like all these points at the same time,
I
thinking
don't think
about
it's a
your
good
project.
good idea to continue, man.
Yeah, and it really depends. Like if you really feel it like deep in your bones, it's this way. You should stop. If you just like from time to time think like this, it really depends on the personality. Like some people are more like anxious a little bit. Like more pessimistic. So it can be normal for them, and they have to like think about the situation like really clearly. Like, is it really this way, or is just my fears, like inner fears, which are baseless?
Yeah, because yeah, it's interesting point because I don't think it's a reason to quit like at all. But I can see where this is coming from because like when you start a business, your first business, and this is what you. But it's like that. I believe it's not a reason for stopping doing business. I believe like
No, I think it's
when you
this
already
this is
start
the
when you.
project basically, but not business. This is two
Yeah,
different
because
things.
they are talking about believe business in like in general, and I believe they are thinking about like progressing in general and working, hustling, startuping in general, and I believe this
Hmm.
is quite normal because like you start because it's interesting and it's like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do the startup, I have this idea, and then you do the first project, the second project, the third project, and they all fail, probably, most probably. It will be like that. um, and you start learning,
One minute.
and I still know like the points where I get these questions, because first you are like everything is green and it's awesome and it will work, but then you start to learn, and you start to learn like this takes a lot of time, and there are many other people who do the same, and I don't really know who is the target audience, and all these questions will start appearing after you get into doing the business.
Yeah, like if you mean the business in general, yeah, like this is normal, and you should just think long term, and you have to know that it will take year before something you do really takes off. So yeah, it's normal. When you when you talk in general, yeah, it's not a reason to quit. But when you talk about like a specific project and you have all these points, like everything is fucked up, I think you should try something
But you
else.
will, but exactly, like if I go through these questions and I ask you these questions on welder, we can answer on them. But it's a good question, like how to deal with all these questions, because they are all relevant. Like it will require too much time. There are many competitors. I'm not sure who will buy it. Like if you start a project, you maybe not like you don't have to like the people you are selling to. I don't know how to make a noise, and all these questions they are there. So how to deal with them?
I think you should have answers to these questions,
Yeah, but how?
like at least some questions. So, like for example, if one of the like concerns you have is I don't like the people they are using the product, you should get in touch with them and try to see if you could like them, and this can be your plan, no? Or the other one is like it's going to take too much time. Yeah, you have to be okay with that. Like business takes time.
Yeah, so it's
And
like
you can find an answer for every of these questions, I think.
yeah, so you should yeah, and that's the point where you may end and stop doing the business when you
Yeah,
cannot.
if you go through all these questions and find an answer you are not like really happy about for all of them, maybe you should quit, really.
Yeah, because it's like that. It will cost you a lot of time, and you might fail. Like I'm right now, I'm having so many thoughts because on Indie Hackers, I see so many people, and because of our videos and stuff, like I get into much more conversations. Like they are doing business for 15 years and more, and 10 years and more, and they are like not successful. But I'm not saying not successful because it's hard, but not successful in like that you have a huge income or nice income and you are living a good thing. They are still struggling with like kicking that one business off. That's crazy. Like it will take a lot of time, and you need luck, and you need to be great. And
Yeah, I think like the more time you invest, the less luck you are going to need, and you will also build a lot of knowledge, and you basically become an expert doing that. But you need to love the thing and do it, like even if you are not successful. If you
yeah.
do it just for the result, yeah, it mostly doesn't make sense to do it at all. So you really have to like the losing. You have to love that you have zero
Yeah, I
customers.
believe that's a good
But
point. Yeah, sorry, Brett.
also, I think one big advantage when you start at 20 is that 10 years is actually not that much, Like if you have some money in 30 and have some basic success, it's actually very good, to
Yeah,
be
it's
honest.
true. That's what I wanted to say. Like you are successful, actually, maybe. Like you are. It's. I said it the wrong way. But what did get to fuck man? I don't know how to say it. What I get out of this, like how do I deal with pessimism and fear of failure when building a business? It's about you have to love the journey you are doing, and like it's cliche as fuck, but it's true. Like you have to laugh that it requires too much time, and the time is that you are working on the thing, and that's what I laugh. Like it's not a problem for me. You don't know who will buy it. Yeah, that's part of the business. You have to do market research, you have to call with the people. Again, part of the journey, you have to love it. um, there is no guarantee it will take off. Again, yes.
No, like there is no guarantee of anything
Yeah,
in life in general.
and that's why you need to really love it, and you need to like I like kind of the stoic attitude a bit on this topic, and that's like you have to be okay with how it is, how the world is, and not how you think it should be, and not be sad and like destroyed by things that are not in your power to change. And when you like this, it's great for you to do business. Like you will enjoy it. And if you're not,
Yeah,
it will be struggle. But again, what I want to say, sorry, Mark, and then you can continue. You can learn this. It's not like that. If you all these questions, I had them. I have them all the time. The fear is there, and it doesn't mean that you have to stop. It's just try to look at it from a different angle and work with it. Like work on yourself. And you said it many times, Marek. Like doing business is a lot working on yourself, and then you can continue the journey.
yeah, I think you should set up the lifestyle the way that you can do it like indefinitely, basically.
And that's also a good
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so for
specific answer.
example, if you quit your job, you have zero money in your bank account, and you try to like create a new startup, and you have like 3 months to do it, and if it's not successful, you are fucked up. and you have to quit. Yeah, this is not the right way to do it. Basically, for
For some.
example, you should have a job, make a decent living, enjoy your life, and build something. And you know that this way you can do it for 10 years without a success, and you will still be happy. And after the 10 years, maybe 15, 20, or maybe after 5, if you are lucky, you are going to get there where you want to be.
Yeah, it's a lot. How I see it right now, it's a lot between how much you love it, how much you want the success there, and the success might mean freedom or huge business, and how much are you comfortable, kind of, or in life you want to be comfortable, because there are people who are totally okay to have zero runway and for 3 months eat like potatoes or whatever rohlíky, um, and just try to do the business and then fail and do it again and again and again because they love it so much and they need it so much that it's their fuel for life.
Yeah, I think you just have to be like self-aware enough to know that you have enough stress tolerance to basically to not use these 3 months to, for example, fuck up your other personal relationship or stuff like that, because this stuff actually happens. Like it's fine if you love it, it's cool, and you can repeat it, but you need to make sure that the rest of your life is still working properly. It should not be like everything is collapsing constantly, basically every 3 months, which
Yeah, it
which
should.
which is real and does happen.
Yeah, from my point of view, exactly. Like you should build it, as Marek said, and you say build it like resilient, and so you can do it for a long time. You have to be happy. You have to have like order and chaos, be in between, be in both. Like there's, and that's why I love doing business, because I can be in order enough and have enough decent living, and I can be in a huge chaos on the other side where I don't know like what will happen in 6 months, right? Um,
In a week,
in
actually.
week.
Next day.
Also, it's a Reddit, so there are some interesting answers, pretty upvoted from others. So that might be interesting. Like Monthly Method says, every time the thought "what if it won't work" comes up, I try to immediately offset it with "what if it will work." Sounds silly, but it works, and that's a good point. Actually, that's a point that Jordan says many times. I heard Gary Vee saying it many times. um, like many people too much focus on what if it not will not work, but maybe you should focus on what if it will work too.
Yeah, like you should do both at the same time, and I think this is the challenge. Like, from the emotional perspective, you should be focused on like the positive things, but from like a very, you know like a hard part of your brain, which is very logical, you should also be focused on the fact that it mostly doesn't work
And it's hard
like you
because
you think.
like this can be so misleading, this answer, and I like it, but it can be so misleading because when we started it was always like what if it will work, and it will work, and this kind of positive thinking, and then when it fails for the fifth time you are really getting down like hard, because you have no savings, you have no cash, you are in debt, whatever, because you just thought about what if it will succeed. And that's where you say it's important to do both. Yeah, and that's the challenge.
Yeah, it's like, like yin and yang. You have
Yeah,
to be somewhere in
both.
between. You cannot be like overly optimistic. That's bullshit. Like, if you are super optimistic about everything, most of the thing you do will fail, and you are going to be unhappy afterwards. You have to
Or
find the level.
yeah, and the question is, where do you find the level? Like it should be on your personal level.
Yeah,
Really.
it's different for everyone, I think. It's like,
Yeah, but like it's because for me, what I think right now is that you maybe can really be super optimistic in all these things, like expecting it will work, thinking what if it will work, it's okay, like people will love it and stuff like that. And what you need to have in yourself, like in your self confidence, is that if it fails, if it doesn't work, you are not destroyed by that, and you are okay with it completely. And that might need for you few things, like the basic things, like basic income, kind of. So some make yourself like at least a living that you know that you will make it through the next month. That might be working for clients, but it's also a lot working on yourself, because for me this is not that much about like not living to the next month, because I know I can do something to live to the next month. But it's about the all the energy you put into the project, and all the expectations and all the vision that, oh yeah, it will be cool, and people will like it and they will use it and it will help them, and that doesn't happen. That's a huge frustration, but it's on my personal level, right?
Yeah, I have an interesting like example. I have heard like a very very nice podcast with like the founder of company named Ring,
Hmm.
Jamie Siminoff. And what he basically did was that he believed in his product so much that he uh, took like a second mortgage on his house, or almost took it.
Wow.
And actually, he succeeded in the end. He sold the company for $1 billion to Amazon, but and it's presented as a huge success. The guy is like a real celebrity in this world. But in my opinion, it wasn't a good move.
Mm.
Like there was like 95% chance it will fail, and he will lose his house, and his family will be like financially
Yeah, is
in
the
danger.
how is it called, the
I don't
success?
think it was a good thing.
It's called successful
I think
bias, or how is it, like surviving
Survivorship, yes.
survivors? Yeah, it's like people will write about these stories, but they will not write about 1,000 stories when others entrepreneurs, because there are millions of them, did this, and
Yeah, and they
they live.
failed
Yeah,
and they lost their money. Yeah, and maybe it doesn't destroy their life, but their life could be maybe much easier if and more enjoyable if they took it, like more in between the positive and pessimistic thinking.
and that's where I believe it's really between like how much you love it and need it, and what's your fuel, what's your life fuel, and that depends also on your personality. And like, because I believe, like, for example, the fuel for Elon Musk or Steve Jobs was exactly this, like they needed to do this like with everything, but I believe they are fucked up,
Yeah,
and they're like,
and the question is, like for example, if you were Steve Jobs, could you work on yourself so much that you would change your personality to be maybe less successful but more happy?
I believe yes, but no. Like not them, because they didn't do it. But in general, yes, I believe yes. If you have at least some basics of like understanding, how to say it, like spirituality and like psychology and self consciousness and self awareness, you can. And actually, what you can see right now on YouTube and everywhere, it's a huge trend for many people, for many creative people, um, for many hustlers, business people. It's about being more self-aware and more into the psychology things and more into the consciousness and knowing yourself, because you need to know yourself well, and you explore yourself by doing the business. Because as we said, like when it's your fuel, you can give everything to it. You will take the second mortgage because it's your bread. You need this trail. You need the stress. You need the option to succeed for your living. So you sacrifice everything for it. But I believe it's not good. Like, you should work on yourself, so you don't need this.
Yeah, I don't think this is like a something to discussion. Like I think
Mm.
it's pretty obvious this is not a healthy lifestyle. This is not a healthy uh, way of living your life. If you succeed, yeah, it's good. But if you're not, you can be pretty fucked up, and you could be much happier if you were like more to the ground, if I say it like this.
Yeah. I think the best way to say it is that if you are like outliner like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, you will kind of know it, and you will listen to this discussion that the three of us had, and you will say this is bullshit. I'm going to build Apple, basically.
Yeah, but the
But
question
I
is,
think for the most of the people, this is not a good way to do it, basically.
yeah, but I think like the question is, even if you are like this kind of person like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk, maybe you would be happier if you try to work on yourself and change your personality and not be this kind of guy.
You will. You
Maybe
will.
it's the best you can do for
If
your.
you are
Yeah,
listening, you
but
will.
honestly, I think this is not something like for other people to decide. I think
Yeah, it's
I'm
true.
not sure what to. I mean, maybe, but maybe
I
not.
believe it's important to say it out loud so you can hear it, and maybe if you are that kind of person, because for example, me, I am that kind of person a bit. I changed, but when I started, I wanted to be this kind of person that will sacrifice everything to business, like, and will work and will build this huge company that will be successful. And I didn't know anything about the business. Like, and I can imagine, like, for many people like Steve Jobs or others, it was the same, but they had the luck, or I don't know. I believe it's luck that succeeded, and it took them to another level. But I believe many people, many young people, because it's in the nature of young people, will start like this with huge ambitions, with the need to change the world. Uh, but what I found for myself is that I would be much better off if this was tuned down a bit, and I was able to like volume down my ego and volume up my, I don't know, self awareness without the ego, and uh, whatever, and maybe work less on our products and projects and startups and work more on clients' work, stupid client work, like stupid agency mode.
Yeah, building the lifestyle you enjoy so you can do it indefinitely
Yeah,
and build the success, step by
yeah.
step, and
Because most
not
of these,
getting a unique company, but getting like the lifestyle you want
yeah,
and the life you want to live.
because most probably, statistically, you will fail. And if you want to succeed, as you said, Marek, you need to do it for a longer time. So you have the higher chances. You have the how do you say vzorek? It doesn't matter. You have the
Yeah,
higher.
like the surface
Yeah,
to get lucky is much bigger,
yeah, exactly.
because you are doing it for a longer time and you are building expertise.
Yeah, and that's exactly why you maybe should spend more time on building something sustainable, something like smaller but easier to get at the start, building the basement of your house first really well, and then continue working on the house for a long time, because you already can live in the basement. Because if you cannot, you are living outside on the rain and the cold, and it's hard, and you are much more likely to fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. This was another interesting discussion. I really enjoyed this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Maybe what we didn't do the last time, because I forget about it, is a sum up. We didn't do the sum up for Bootstrap development, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do it.
We can do it now, actually, after this end. But what is the sum up of this? Do you want to take it, guys, or it's pretty hard to sum this up?
Yeah, maybe we can split it. Like I will start, then you will go, and then Predrag will go.
Okay.
What we think we
So I will
we
I will
should
I
say
will
in
say
this
the
one.
question: how you should deal with pessimism and fear of failure that can stop you from progressing in your business and entrepreneurship life.
I think you should approach pessimism as not something like really negative, and something which can really help to set the business in a healthy way. But you shouldn't get overwhelmed by the pessimism at all. Like you should always see, like the sun is somewhere there, but maybe the path will not be like all sunny.
Mm. Yeah, I think it should really be a lot of work on yourself and understanding and like meeting yourself. Where does this fears comes from, and how you can deal with them. You should learn to be okay with those fears, and as you said, Mark, you should always know that there is the bright star somewhere that is still shining, even if the clouds are in the sky. And one specific and actionable advice: it's maybe better to start building smaller things at the beginning of your career, that are sustainable, that will make you earnings each month, that will, even if they are like, if even if you are changing your time for something that's not so sexy, like clients work or whatever, do this to feel safe on the most basic levels, so you can then build the skyscraper after that. Brady, you have any thought?
I think this is everything we wanted to say.
All right, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, I said it already. If you did, leave us a like, comment, or subscribe. That's the best one. But the best one is to leave us a comment in which you will write, "I want to be part of the show and I want to speak with you," because we will take you on. As you can see, we have one free slot here somewhere. We are recording through Welder, so it's remotely. It's super casual, the discussion, and we want your opinion. We want another smart brain here. So let us know. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, and don't forget to join our what's
Yeah,
the platform name?
Discord. Right now, still on
Yeah,
Discord.
Discord.
We are having a small dedicated community of product builders, indie hackers, bootstrappers who are sharing their knowledge right now on Discord. Um, if you are up for it, again, leave us a comment. We will send you the link to join. There's a lot of help. Like it's small but real helpful. So the people are really dedicated to helping others. It's a great community. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.